What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Get Real Bass Fishing. 13,000 of you watched our videos last year and are not subscribed. I don't know what that's about, but I think you should hit that red subscribe button if you're watching this. We have 750 more videos down below, but also we have a second channel that we just started that we are giving away a Pen Slammer DX for surf fishing. Whenever we pick the winner, we'll see what size you want, whether it's a 35, 45, 50, whatever it is. We're going to pick a winner at 1,000 subscribers over on that second channel where we're uploading all of our content from 2020 onwards. So you don't have to go scrolling around this channel to find our old content. You can go over there and watch it right from the start. Anyway, guys, we're going to go into 3 major DIYs that are going to save you time and money from going to tackle shops and having to get them do it. You can do it all on your own. Let's go. So we have 3 things that a lot of people spend money on when they go to the tackle shop, when in reality they can do it themselves and save a lot more money and save the time traveling to the tackle shop. So let's dive right into the very first thing. It's probably the easiest one that you can do on this entire video, and that's make your own leaders. I sell leaders on the website. Tackle shops sell leaders. Is it a lot of profit? Not really, but you don't have to say, oh, I ran out of leaders, I can't do anything, I gotta go to a tackle shop to grab some leaders in order to go fishing. No, grab yourself a couple essentials that you're gonna need in order to make your own leaders. Have them with you at all times. Make leaders. You have 15 minutes of spare time at night, go make yourself some leaders. So I'm gonna show you the essentials, or the bare minimum that you need to make leaders, and then all of that combined, I'm going to show you how to actually make a very simple leader. Making leaders is a whole lot easier than it looks, and if you can't do these couple basic knots, then you got to learn how to do these knots in order to fish in general. First things first, we have a spool of line. So for us, we fish a lot of 40-pound leaders. Choose whatever weight leader you want. Usually we're running 40s. We range from 40, 50, 60. And really, we only bump up that far if we're going around rocks or jetties or something like that, all right? Next couple things, you're gonna want some pliers. You're gonna want some scissors. 2 components of the leader besides the leader material itself are these 2 simple things. We got clips and barrel swivels. You don't need to use both on the leader, or you can use both on the leader. We're gonna show you how to do both on the leader. That way it's a lot easier in general. Lastly, just to store your leaders, you can go to Michael's or any other craft store, find 250 to 500 bags for a couple bucks, and you're probably never gonna run through them all. They're just little tiny bags. I think these are 3" by 4". I usually stuff 3 liters inside a bag. Anything more than that kind of gets tangled, and it just makes for a nightmare on the beach. All right, let's dive into making our leader. First things first, we're gonna take our fishing line, 40-pound. Want to pull out some line, just enough so we get to the end and have some working room. All right, so we got our fishing line. We're gonna work with our clips first. Pop off a clip, here we go. With the TA clips, you go to the bent to the top and 90-degree on the bottom. All right, so we're going to put it through the top, just like this. We have a couple inches of working line. All right, so we are going to pinch our clip like that. So now we have a bend. We're going to take our working end and wrap around 6 times. All right, take that working end, see that loop we made, put it right through. At this point, we're going to wet the line. So we'll wet this with our saliva and then hold our clip, pull our main line, cinch it down. So now we have one end, all right? We're going to measure about however long you want your leader. Usually I'm running 5 feet. So now we have our other working end. All right, pull out a barrel swivel. We're going to do the exact same knot. So this knot is called a clinch knot. Put it through our barrel swivel. We're going to pinch our barrel swivel. Again, taking our working end and making 5 or 6 wraps. And coming from, just like the other one, coming from underneath, we're going to go over and into our loop. We're going to pinch both. We're going to wet this so we'd spit on it and then cinch down. So this is where the pliers come in handy, especially these with these little teeth. Put your barrel swivel through it. After wetting it, pull down. All right, so now we have both ends of our leaders. We're gonna cut off the tag ends, and now we have a fully functioning leader that we don't have to go to the store and buy. We can make whenever we want. So we're just gonna wrap it around our hand and then just work itself inside of itself. Just a couple wraps, grab one of our bags, stick it in there. Now we just saved ourselves a couple bucks. We saved ourselves a trip to the shop, and we have a leader, and we can make 20 of these. So that saves us a lot of time by just simply making our own leaders, and we don't have to waste money on that. We get all of these materials. These will last us multiple seasons. Unless you plan on making your buddies 100 liters each, you're gonna have that for a long time. So in the long run, it saves you time and money by making your own leaders. So let's jump into the second thing that really, it's more of a maintenance thing for your gear. We have our spinning reels here. And one thing you want to make sure you do, especially in saltwater, is maintain your gear. You want to rinse off your reels after every single salt trip, get the salt out of everything. And this is going to be a basic, we're not tearing anything apart, but we're basic maintenance on these reels so that we have them for seasons to come. Now you can bring them to shops, they'll do it, they'll charge you however much they charge. A couple shops are different. You send, these are Shimano's, if you want them maintained, from what I understand is $70 per reel plus whatever has to be fixed. So just maintain them throughout the year and they'll be perfectly fine. So let me show you how I maintain my reels to keep them buttery smooth in the saltwater. So this is a Shimano Nasky 4000. This is one of my main reels that I use all the time when I'm fishing for stripers, fluke, porgy, bluefish, anything that I use a rod under 7.5 feet. This is what I'm using to catch fish. So this is in the surf, in the back bays, on the boats, all the time. And this is buttery smooth, beautiful. Has some scratches, of course. Not going to really be able to get those out, but this is one of the ways that I keep my reels smooth when fishing with salt and sand. First thing you want to do when you get home is rinse this off. If you happen to drop it in sand and it's getting all sandy inside of gears, inside the bail, you start feeling some grinding, stop using it, go get some fresh water, clean it out, rinse it out. It should be fine to use. However, if that's the case, you're gonna want to open it all up. But if you're not getting it all sandy and dirty, this is what we're gonna do to maintain it. We rinse it off at home. We can use warm soapy water. You want to make sure you get yourself some reel oil. This is the Lucas Fishing Reel Oil. I've had this for years and I've been using this on everything. I like using oil over grease on Shimano's and my Daiwas because they're just so smooth. So there's a couple points that we want to hit when we are cleaning and maintaining our reels. First thing, it just keeps moving, it's so smooth, is the line roller. So one thing we can do is dab some oil on our line roller. Listen, you can put as much oil as you want. It's not going to hurt it. You're just going to have to use a cloth and dry it up a little bit. All right, so we're going to run a rubber band underneath the bail and move that line roller back and forth. Get some grease and some oil inside of there. You can do it on top too. You can use something else. You want to try to avoid using picks, knives, screwdrivers on the line roller. Last thing you want is a scratch on there that's going to cut up your line. All right, we're going to hit every single moving joint. So our handles, we're going to add some oil in here, get that rolling. All right, we're going to take off our handle. This one has a joint here. So any joints we're going to hit with oil. Add some oil in there, add some oil inside of here, go inside the roller, inside the bearing, add some oil here. We're going to open it up over here, add some oil in here. We're going to take our spool off, run some oil on the shaft here, put that back on. Another thing you can do under here is oil up all those metal pieces. A lot of salt will actually sit on there. A little click. There you go. One piece that you do want to pay attention to is your bail. If you drop it in sand, there may or may not be some sand inside of here and inside of here. You do want to be a little bit careful when you do that, because if you open up this a little bit too far, the bail spring is going to pop out and then you have this big old mess that you got to try to fix up inside of here. So just make sure if there's sand in here, open it a little bit at a time and work your best. But chances are there's going to be sand in here, and work through here and go through all of these pieces, and you're going to have to open it up anyway. So do keep an eye out or an ear out for whether or not you hear grinding or sand inside of there. So by maintaining our gear, we're gonna have gear for the entire season and seasons to come. We don't have to spend money, go to the tackle shop, spend money on them doing the exact same thing that we can do at home, or even in the truck, on the boat, whatever. All right, so the third option of one of these DIY things that you should probably learn as a fisherman is fixing a rod. Now, look at this thing. I found this rod in a lake. I actually went fly fishing and I caught it. I thought I had a nice fish on, but no, it was this rod, and I guess somebody got really mad because they broke the tip off of it and threw it into the lake. I'm not breaking one of my rods just for a video, so I'm gonna use this one. It's all beat up and disgusting. So this is literally just for this video's purpose. And there's a couple different things that you can do this for. So if you're fishing, let's say I fish Montauk a lot, and sometimes, you know, you're taking a cast and you go to let your cast fly out and your rod tip smacks down on a rock, smacks back up, and you shatter the ceramic piece inside of your rod tip. You still have the tip guide, but you don't have any ceramic in it, which means it is now useless because that aluminum piece that the ceramic was around is now scratched as well. If it's not, go ahead, keep using it, but chances are it hit a rock and it's all scratched, it's broken, so you can't even fish with it. So there's that option, and then you have this option where your rod tip just snapped and now you have no tip whatsoever, so you have to fix the rod. So what I'm gonna show you is how to fix the tip. You know, it snaps off, or you have to take the tip off, whatever it might be. We're replacing a tip today, and you can find a bunch of different tips online in packages like this. So if you have multiple different rod sizes, so surf rods, freshwater, they also have fly tips and things like that. There's a bunch of different packages that will give you the options: silver, black, gold, whatever you want. Or you can go specifically on some sort of rod building website and get a guide that you want. You know, whether it's titanium or anything like that, you can find the specific guide you want, or you just do the basics like this, because chances are I'm going back to Montauk, I'm going to hit a rock, I'm going to bust it again. But these are all things that you can have in your truck, or if you know you're going to end up snapping a rod at Montauk, go ahead, just put it inside of your box and you can just fix it on the fly. All right, so let's break this down. We have this rod. This rod snapped really close to that second guide. We can't put a tip there. So what I'm gonna do, you can do it with your fingers, you can snap it off. Just make sure you don't end up fracturing or splintering the rod blank itself. So I have some pliers here. I'm just gonna snip it right there underneath that second guide, just like that. Squeeze it back together. All right, so now we have that second guide is gone and we're down to the third one, so we have enough room to put a new tip on. All right, so first things first, we're just gonna spit on our fingers and get all the dirt and grime off of that area. All right, so now we're clean there. So most come with epoxies. It's just one part to one part. Don't need too much of it. Come on, I'll do a little more than that. Mix that up. I'm gonna put a black tip on. This one looks like it could be it. It works. All right, so we're just gonna put some epoxy on here. Make sure we line it up with our guides that are currently still on there. Take some more epoxy, and then we're gonna let it sit. So all of those things that I talked about today, whether it is the kits for fixing your rod tips, your kits for cleaning up your fishing reels, or everything you need to make leaders, I will link down below in the description, so you're not going out searching, I need this, everything will be listed down there. Also, for just a little bonus for this video, this is a line spooler. So this is another thing that you should know how to do and should get when it comes to saving money, do it yourself. Say you get spooled by a big fish and pop, you had a nick in your line, it hits a rock, and now you're out 100, 150 yards of line. This is gonna be great to have in your truck, in your boat, at home, whatever you want. That way you can always spool up with the correct tension any reel that you need to at any time. Instead of going to the shop, they charge you to put it on, and then you have to take that extra trip to the shop, and then you know you're in the shop, so you're gonna spend an extra $50, $60, $70 on some lures. No, no, no. Your wives did not pay me to say that. However, you can get one of these things pretty cheap. They're like 25 bucks, maybe at most on Amazon. I'll link this one specifically down below as well. and then you just tie it onto your spool and apply the correct pressure, and you have a perfectly spooled reel, and no need to go to the tackle shop. So that's just an extra bonus for you guys. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we are giving away a Pen Slammer DX when the PK channel down below hits 1,000 subscribers. So when we do that, we will be doing a giveaway on that channel for a Pen Slammer. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down below for this channel, the Get Real Bass Fishing channel, because 13,000 of you last month alone watched our videos and were not subscribed. So I don't know what you're doing. Hit that red subscribe button. We're posting twice a week on this channel, 3 times over at PK. All right, thank you guys for watching. Stay real, smooch and release, and have some fun on the water. I'll see you next time.
Without my love for the ocean,